Have you ever noticed someone who barely exists online? No selfies, no birthday posts, no life updates. In a world where visibility is rewarded, they almost seem to disappear. And a lot of people assume that means insecurity, shyness, or loneliness. But psychology tells a very different story. When someone chooses not to post their face or their life online, that decision often says more about inner strength than withdrawal. Let's slow this down and look at what's really happening beneath the surface. First, many of these people value privacy over attention. From a psychological perspective, they tend to have a strong need for emotional boundaries. They're careful about what parts of themselves they expose, not because they're hiding, but because they understand that not everything needs an audience. While others seek reassurance through likes and comments, they've learned to regulate their self-worth internally. Their sense of "I'm okay" doesn't depend on being witnessed. That quiet self-containment is often a sign of deep inner security. Second, they usually have a strong sense of self-awareness. Research on identity and self-concept shows that people who share less online often know who they are, without needing constant feedback. They're clear about their values. They understand what matters to them. And because of that, they're less pulled by trends, comparison, or performance. Their happiness isn't shaped by how others react to them. It's shaped by alignment with themselves. Third, this behavior is often linked to emotional stability. There's a type of confidence that doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to be proven. People with this kind of emotional grounding don't post to validate their worth, because they already feel whole. Psychologists associate this with secure self-esteem, not the loud kind, the calm kind, the kind that allows someone to focus on real life rather than managing an online image. Fourth, many of them are deep thinkers, not performers. They tend to reflect before they speak, and when they do share something, it's usually intentional, meaningful, not just noise. This connects to something called an internal standard of evaluation, meaning they measure themselves by their own values, not by external approval. They often prefer depth over visibility and real conversations over surface-level interaction. And finally, many of these people understand something important about social media. They see the illusion. They recognize how easily online spaces turn into comparison traps, where everyone is measuring their behind the scenes against someone else's highlight reel. So instead of participating fully, they step back, not because they're disconnected, but because they're protecting their mental health. They choose peace over performance. So if you ever notice someone who never posts their photos, try not to assume they're insecure or antisocial. They might be emotionally grounded, self-aware, comfortable in their own presence. Some people don't need to be seen to feel real. And that, psychologically speaking, is a very quiet kind of confidence. If you're drawn to understanding why people think, feel, and behave the way they do, you're in the right place. Because here, we don't just observe lives online. We explore the minds behind them.